Who are you really trying to please?
Today we're going to be talking about the hidden dangers of keeping everyone happy.
So be honest. Have you ever tried to please everybody in your life? Your family, your siblings, your coworkers, over and above trying to please your spouse?
And I'm here to tell you that will not work because you can never, ever please everyone.
Yes. And so in today's conversation, we're not only going to share our life experience, what we have learned in our 31 years of marriage, and also working with couples for over 20 years, but we're also going to share, well, what does God say? Because sometimes we're going to get it wrong. But again, we like to humbly share, well, what does God say? So today's Bible verse can be found in the book of Genesis, chapter 2, verse 24. It says, "For this reason shall a man leave his mother and his father and be joined to his wife, because the two shall become one flesh." So that Bible verse goes to God's design for marriage. To leave your parents and to become joined, to become unified, one heart, one mind with your spouse.
And I'm here to tell you that oftentimes it doesn't come easy, because just imagine you were single one day and then you are married the next. So it takes some time to get used to that new lifestyle, talking it over with your spouse. But at the end of the day, your goal is to become one and always honor your spouse first.
So today we're going to be highlighting 3 areas of concern, because we believe that you can't improve, you can't fix what you don't identify, what you don't highlight. So again, no shade. Yeah. We're just going to highlight some things for you to consider, and then you get to decide, will you make some adjustments to be better? So the first area of concern is too many voices in your marriage.
Too many. And again, I know you mean well. You want to listen to your parents. You want to listen to your siblings, to your close friends. They mean a lot in your life. And you're still friends and your son. But when you get married, your first choice, or your first response, or your first answer, your first question should be to your spouse. We always say the loudest voice should be your spouse. Not the loudest in volume, but the one that gets your attention faster.
So when you think about some of the major decisions you will make in your relationship, about how to raise your kids, your financial concerns, what is best. If you go to your parents or your siblings before you go to your spouse, that's out of order. And that's going to create all kinds of havoc in your relationship.
Because you figure everyone who cares for you will have an opinion. And oftentimes it's well-meaning, but remember, your spouse is number one. For example, where are you going to live? What part of town? Are you going to buy a home? Are you going to rent? Do you want a townhome? Do you want a condo? All these variables, and then you're inundated with all this information, and you never consulted your spouse.
All right. So, area of concern number 2, trying to keep everybody happy. It's draining. It's draining you, and it's draining your partner. So again, saying yes to every family event, every request. And again, your heart is in the right place. You want to please the people who you love. But again, we can't be all things to all people at the same time.
Yeah, just imagine you're getting started in your marriage, or even if you've been married for many years, Sunday is a day of rest. You want to be still. You want to be quiet. Well, Sunday is a tradition in your family where you want to meet for dinner or have a big event, and you're really exhausted, and you're like, honey, we have to go to our parents because they invited us. Well, they invited us last weekend and the weekend before, and it becomes a routine, and you spend no time with your spouse.
And I promise you, if that kind of behavior continues, slowly but surely, resentment is going to build. Again, I don't want to be at your parents' house every weekend.
Every day.
I don't want to be doing a church event every Sunday. I don't want to always be doing everything for everybody else over and above pouring into my sweetheart.
Because here's the way it's going to work out. You're trying to please your family members by saying yes to every Sunday event. And then that one Sunday you say no. Now they're hurt and offended. Meanwhile, while you were saying yes to them all those weekends, your spouse is hurt because it's like, I told you I don't want to go again. So your family's upset at you. Your spouse is upset at you. So again, you don't please everyone. Your spouse should be number one.
Absolutely. And so now we're going to look at the third area of concern. Pleasing others can cause your spouse to feel second best.
Yeah. And whatever that routine was before you got married, playing ball with the guys, spending time with your girlfriends, knitting club, the reading club, whatever it is that you did as a single woman, as a single man, yes, you could still do that as long as you and your spouse are in agreement. Let's do it once a month or every other month. But we can't be doing the same routine and then you get home late and your spouse is asleep because they're tired. So again, your spouse needs to be priority.
Yes. And then in addition to that, also when you defend others instead of defending your spouse.
That's dangerous. Yes.
Okay, because again, when you were single, all you knew was your family and your friends and their opinions and how they did things. So that was the safe routine. But once you become married, there's a shift.
Yes.
There's a shift in the order of things. You and your spouse need to be having those deep conversations about the things that matter to you. You've got to find out, well, what is the heart of your spouse? What do they think? How do they feel? And then if you both agree, then you can decide, well, do we want to share this information with everybody else?
And excuse me, for those newlyweds, be encouraged because it's going to take some time to get used to that new lifestyle. You were a single man, single woman. You were doing your own thing at your own time. Now you're married. Now everything you do has to be approved and okay by your spouse. Run it by them out of respect. You just can't jump in the car and go driving like you used to do every Saturday. Yes, you can still do it, but run it by your spouse. Hey, honey, what are we doing today? Can I go out for a couple hours and whatever it is that you want to do? But you just can't do that as a married person. So again, it'll take some time. Once you get there, it'll be a wonderful, wonderful feeling and experience.
And the things that we're sharing is not rocket science. A lot of the problems that go on in a marriage are self-imposed. It is your fault. But again, once some information has been identified and highlighted, then it's up to you to make the decision.
Yeah.
Well, what am I going to do a little differently? How am I going to change my behavior? What are some of the things that I can do to make my spouse happy and to make our relationship whole? So
no, go ahead. And sometimes people really make it more than what it is. They feel like they have to ask for permission. They have to, raise their hand. Could I go out, sweetheart, and make it all dramatic? It's not about that. It's being honoring your spouse. Yes, you need to let them know that you're leaving the house. Your spouse shouldn't be coming out of the bathroom looking for you. Where are you? I'm a grown man. I do what I want. Well, yes, you're a grown man. If you want to be a single man, do whatever you want. But now you're a husband.
Right, that rhymes. But at the end of the day, your partner is your priority.
Yes.
And again, there is nothing more sweet, more beautiful than to have a spouse that honors you, that covers you, that protects you, that puts your wants and your needs above everybody else.
That's good.
So again, once we learn better, we're supposed to do better.
Yes.
All right. So now we're going to give you 3 helpful tips. We're going to put them on the table for you to consider. And again, knowing it is not enough. You got to practice. You have to apply what we're sharing with you. So helpful tip number 1 is reestablish that marriage boundary as your priority.
That's a must. That's a must because again, your parents mean a lot. They're your parents. They'll always be your parents. Let's not get this twisted. Oftentimes people feel that, well, they're my parents. That's my mom. Yes, they are. But you're married. You have a spouse. So your spouse is priority. Now, if you want to run something by them with the approval of your spouse, that's fine. But don't feel you have to go running to them all the time when you have a question and ignore your spouse who is right next to you.
So the level of priority should go like this: God, spouse, then family.
That's it.
God, spouse, then family. That is the godly order of things.
Yeah.
So again, we can't be saying yes to everybody's request, every family tradition, every event without confirming it and making sure it's okay.
Absolutely.
With your spouse.
And again, your high school friend, your elementary best friend forever, they're still your friends, but you shouldn't go to them first beside other than your spouse, if that makes sense.
And then our second helpful tip is set those boundaries. Lovingly set the boundaries. So again, boundaries are not rejection. Boundaries are about protection. Okay, we don't go past certain limits. So again, it doesn't mean that we don't care about our family and friends. We're just making decisions that are best for us.
Yeah, and just imagine someone comes into your home who you invited them. You would assume, that they will go to the living room or the kitchen, and they just walk up to your bedroom and start looking around.
Can you even imagine?
I mean, we have boundaries, and you just, I've known you for a long time. You trust me, and they're up there, using your bathroom, going through your stuff, and just look. Oh wow, look at your new bedroom set. That's overstepping their boundaries, because your boundaries is we're going to stay here in this. So just take that to real life every day. Have boundaries, because you just can't have people coming in there and talking to you and giving you unsolicited advice. That part is the one that is tough.
And the boundaries have to be spoken.
Yes.
No one is going to know your boundary unless you establish your boundary and then communicate that effectively.
Right.
And again, we can't be changing the boundary line.
No.
Once we set the boundary is the boundary. And you have to enforce the boundary.
And those boundaries that you set, that you and your spouse have set for your household, it's not for discussion. You can't negotiate with your in-laws, with your sister and your siblings. Well, I'm your sister. I can call you anytime I want. Can I get the key to your place? You'll get the key if my husband and I say yes. Other than that, you're not getting the keys.
Yes.
You're not calling me at 10 o'clock like you used to. I'm a married woman. I'm a married man. Okay, so let's get these boundaries defined so we know what the expectations are.
Yes, and the key word you said was let's. So together. we have to decide, well, what are the boundaries for our household? And then be clear, because again, we can't have one set of rules and boundaries for this person, but another set of boundaries for somebody else.
Absolutely. And again, lastly, stand firm on that decision that you and your spouse agreed on. Sister, brother, mom and dad, Tracy and I have decided we will do this. Okay? That's it. Because once the discussion opens up, and they'll start giving their opinion, and no, we don't go there.
And the third helpful tip is, whatever you decide as a united front.
Absolutely. And again, come to a full agreement at the beginning, and then if you have to realign it, but we are in agreement at all times.
Yes. And so even if you haven't discussed it, you can put everybody else off and say, you know what? Well, that's something that Sandy and we're going to talk about it. And then once we've made a decision, then we'll let you know. But again, we are always a united front. And if you're not united, then you can't share the information.
Those are powerful words, because you put them on pause. We discuss, we agree, we come back with a complete and full answer.
When you try to please everybody, you please nobody. So again, we talked about the order of things: God, spouse, and then family. So again, our encouragement to you is take the time, have those conversations, talk about what matters to you, figure it out, come into agreement, and decide we are one.
If this conversation hits home, don't ignore it. Lean into it.
We invite you to click the link in our bio and begin to build a relationship that lasts.